$500 billion and you don't know who got the money?
The loans go to the central banks, and they...
That includes a Pentagon audit. We are going to focus heavily to ensure that at a bare minimum, by the end of 4 years, the Pentagon passes a clean audit.
This, Mr. Secretary, is a bag of bushings. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
I don't know, Congressman.
$90,000. This is a $90,000 bag of bushings that you need for any jet turbine engine.
They're very, very, very upset at President Trump. He said it almost every day. He said, if you elect me president, I'm going to go through the entire budget and review all the spending, line by line.
What if I told you the world's richest man just found a way to audit the most secretive building in America? That's right, the Pentagon. You are not supposed to know what's happening there. You are not supposed to know where the money's going, who's getting it, and more importantly, who's getting the kickbacks. But Elon Musk has been unleashed with the DOGE, with the Department of Government Efficiency, to find out where your money's going, who's getting it, and more importantly, who's using it against America. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button, and in the next 10 minutes, you're going to be blown away by what the Democrat Party is trying to prevent happening. Okay, guys, this is the Obama judge that is temporarily blocking Elon Musk's DOGE access to the Treasury Department payment system. He orders an immediate destruction to all data obtained since Trump's inauguration. I didn't misspeak. This is a federal judge that is ordering the destruction of government documents to prevent an investigation, to prevent an audit. This is Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer, a radical left judiciary, continues to sabotage the Trump's administration efforts to drain the swamp. Now, yesterday, Donald Trump removed the security clearances of 8 people. Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, laundry list goes on. Secretary Blinken, I think former FBI chief, all this. He is removing their access from federal buildings. I believe indictments are on the way. I believe it is to keep them out of those buildings and prevent them from sabotaging or destroying evidence, much like the Oliver North thing. This ruling is absolutely insane, Elon Musk says. How on earth are we supposed to stop fraud and waste of taxpayer money without looking at how the money is spent? This is basically like you just keep writing checks, but you're never supposed to find out or keep track of who's getting the checks, where the checks are going, more importantly, who's using the checks against you, for those at home with checkbooks, okay? That's what this is. They are trying to prevent the American people from knowing where our tax dollars are going. And this guy looks like Harry Potter, but he's no wizard. He's a clown. At best, he is a Democrat operative. While this is all going on, the Democrats that are opposing these audits, their unfavorability rating has reached a new 16-year high. You've got to go way back, pre-Obama, whenever, the hope and change was voted in. The Democrat Party is their own worst enemy because we as the American people, we as the consensus, we as the winning party voted for all this to happen. It's really odd to see because Donald Trump himself is a former Democrat. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, there's a number of other former Democrats that are in his cabinet, and they too have lost faith within the Democrat Party. Even John Fetterman came out and criticized the Democrat Party. He said they're toxic.
Why is the Democratic Party viewed as toxic by so many? Like, even people inside the party acknowledge that.
I think their primary currency was shaming and scolding and talking down to people and telling them, hey, I know better than you, or you're dopes, or you're a bro, or you're ignorant, or, don't you, how can you be this dumb? I can't imagine it. And then, by the way, they're fascists. How can you vote for that? And, when you're in a state like Pennsylvania, I know and I love people that voted for Trump, and they're not fascists.
I'm not a fascist. I voted with my wallet. I voted with humanity. That's what I voted for. And I'm getting everything I voted for right now. And thank you, John Fetterman, for coming out and saying exactly what we've all known. I don't know what happened to Fetterman. Did they get his medication right? Because he seems a little more awake than the woke morons like this Tara Palmieri with the Kardashian vocal fry. And anyone with vocal fry, you can already guarantee you who you know they're voting for. But this is amazing to see. The Democrats are crumbling before your eyes. A big part of the reason that I voted for Donald Trump is because he said he was going to do exactly what's happening right now. He wanted to find the money. He wanted to see where our money was going. How can the richest nation in the world be so far into debt? This is a little clip. Ryan Matta, I've had him here on my show before. He was on the Timcast, and he explains it clearly.
So USAID is the money laundering arm of the CIA, basically, right? It's the linchpin that connects our State Department, the Department of Defense, and the CIA. Its budget is twice that of the State Department and the CIA.
So what number is that then?
I think it's $50 billion.
$50 billion.
A year budget.
Wow.
Yeah. So USAID goes into third world countries over a 10, 20, 30-year period, and they use NGO structures like you would use offshore bank accounts, basically. They use an NGO, they fund an NGO that funds an NGO that funds an NGO that carries out their dirty work, basically. And Lindsay, you guys can jump in on that.
It's absolutely correct. And I think one of the reasons that Elon is so adamant to go after them, especially one of the first things for DOGE to attack, is because they were the ones that were funding the censorship industrial complex. And you know, they went to war with Elon with the advertiser boycott ban, and that was literally funded by USAID.
Wow.
It was funding the NGOs that was funding, they even funded Media Matters, they funded Politico.
Wait, what, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
USAID gave money to Media Matters?
They also gave money to Pfizer. They're out of the top 10 recipients, number 2 on the list of USAID was Pfizer. So it's insane that our U.S. tax dollars are going to not only funding these overthrowing of governments in other countries, but it's also funding now NGOs and having them do the work that they themselves cannot do.
That is the most important statement right there. These NGOs are being paid to do what the government can't do. They are free agents. They are operatives. They are hired hitmen. One of the best books you will ever read. Go check out The Diary of an Economic Hitman. You can find it on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. Diary of an Economic Hitman. It will blow your mind. And the book was written 25, 30 years ago. And it's all coming out right now. And I've known this. I have seen this unfold. I have seen this unfold over the last few years. And it's like, I told you so. It is a perpetual ringing of I told you so. With USAID and the Pentagon being investigated, the liberal news media has gotten their talking orders, and the government has given it to them. And Donald Trump needs to get rid of as many of these federal judges as he can possibly get rid of.
California joining 18 other states in yet another lawsuit against the Trump administration. This time, Attorney General Rob Bonta accusing DOGE and Elon Musk of illegally accessing the private bank and Social Security information of millions of Americans. It's the latest in a growing avalanche of legal challenges since the president took office just 19 days ago.
How can anyone not want to find and expose government corruption? I'm going to show you a clip here of Ben Bernanke.
So who got the money?
To financial institutions in Europe and other countries.
Which ones?
I don't know.
$500 billion and you don't know who got the money?
The loans go to the central banks, and they then put them out to their institutions to try to bring down short-term interest rates in dollar markets around the world.
Well, let's start with which central banks got the money.
There are 14 of them, which are listed I'm sure they're listed in here somewhere.
He's sure they're listed in there somewhere. He can't tell you where $500 billion went. This was in 2009. We know who was president then. Barack Hussein Obama. 2009, Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke is caught doing $500 billion in swaps overseas. That is going back 15 years with unfettered control. No audits, no what I would call oversight. Finish this clip.
All right, so who actually made that decision to hand out $1 trillion that way, $500 billion? Who made that decision?
The Federal Open Market Committee.
Okay, and was it done at one time or in a series of meetings?
A series of meetings.
And under what legal authority?
We have a long-standing legal authority to do swaps with other central banks.
Do you happen to know anything-
It's not an emergency authority of any kind.
Anything specific about it?
Do you know my counsel says Section 14 of the Federal Reserve Act.
Federal Reserve Act. The Federal Reserve is as Federal Express. Always remember that. They are not a federal government organization, but they control the interest rates. And when you control the interest rates, they control you. In a response to this, in the New York Post today, Elon Musk has came out and said he wants federal judges who are blocking this investigation, who are blocking this audit, to be impeached for corruption. How many federal judges have you seen over the last 8 years that are absolute operatives of the Democrat Party? We've seen it. You know exactly who I'm talking about in New York. You have seen federal judges delve into politics and to try and control the narrative. What do you think about this? Leave a comment down below. I would love to get your take on your opinion of federal judges and their involvement in the cover-up of this audit of the Pentagon. Guys, DOGE, Democrats officially getting exposed. I can't disagree with this. We're seeing it in real time. Feel free to prove me wrong. This is the Vet Biker. I got to get out of here. Take care. I'll see you on the road.